guys, welcome to DD's Biospace. And today's video, we're gonna find out what happens when a bacteria or a virus enters inside our body. How is our body's immune system working, and eventually, how are we being protected from a lot of diseases? Now, even before we get inside the video and know a lot about what is happening, there are two key players which I'll be repeating a lot in this video, and you should be aware of it. Number one is a bacteria or virus. They are our enemies. They are scientifically known as antigens or pathogens. Now, throughout the video, I'm going to keep referring to those enemies as invaders because they're invading our body. And the second key player is our immune system. Our immune system is just like an army. It has soldiers inside and they are fighting hard to protect us from these enemies or invaders. Now, what happens is the bacteria or virus enters inside our body. Once it enters inside our body, they start multiplying at a very faster rate. And what happens is, eventually, when they reach a particular population, like 100 cells or 200 bacteria or virus, they start attacking our body. Now, the first level of soldiers, known as macrophages, they find something unusual in the body. So they go there and they find these invaders. So as per the instruction, they have three functions to do. Number one is they go start attacking these invaders. They just keep swallowing them and fighting against them. At the same time, to make this fight easier, they send signal to blood vessels to send water in the battlefield. Because when there is water, it becomes easier for our macrophages or the first level of soldiers to fight against the invaders easily. Now, this is the reason there is inflammation when there is an inflammation during an infection. So when you cut your finger after a few hours or after a day, you can see that is inflammation. That is because the first level of soldiers are using some mechanism to fight against the invader. Now, these two functions are done, and the third function is they send the signal to the second level of soldiers telling that there is an attack happening inside the body. Now, these second level of soldiers are known as neutrophils. Now, neutrophils are damn aggressive. They are waiting to go and kill someone. Once they get a signal telling that there is an attack, immediately they rush inside the battlefield and they start killing all those bacteria or viruses. Now what happens is there is a defect with the second level of soldiers. They are so aggressive that at times they also end up killing our own cells. This is the reason 5 days after the production and when they are in action, they just commit suicide at the end to avoid the destruction of our own cells. Now, the first level of soldiers and the second level of soldiers, neutrophils, are fighting hard to control the disease or to get rid of the invaders and win the battle. But what happens is, at times, the population of the invader is more, or the invader is very strong that these two level of soldiers are not enough to destroy them. In that case, the third level of soldier enters. They are known as the dendritic cells. Now, what the dendritic cell does is it goes to the battlefield and it will take a piece of the bacteria or virus and it will deliver it to the lymph node. Now, lymph node is like the headquarters which has weapons. When the first and second level of soldiers fail, that is when they require weapons and the lymph node will give the weapons. But lymph node has a condition. It has customized weapons. Like for each type of bacteria, each type of virus, there are different types of weapons which is being used. So it has to know what is the type or what it has to know, like a particular information about the invader to release the required weapons. So that is why the dendritic cell is getting a part of the invader. Now this invader is like a lock and the lymph node has keys. Now the keys are T cells. There are many number of keys. When there is a perfect match of the key will enter and it will destroy the invader. So now what it does is lymph node will go through all the T cells or all the type of keys which is present, and finally when there is a match, the T cell is the key. So when there is a final match, the T cell will be like, okay, so we found out the right weapon to destroy it. The T cell will start replicating at a higher rate. So hundreds of T cells are reproduced and the T cells rushes into the battlefield and it will fit into the lock of whatever bacteria or virus it is and it will destroy it. At the same time, it will also have some cells of the key stored over there, like in a memory, that okay, this is the type we have encountered today, so it will be in a memory. And other T cell, what it will do is there are something known as B cells also present in the lymph node. So the T cells will find what are the similar types of B cells, because T cells are produced in hundreds of number only, but they need more and more power, or they need more support to destroy or fight the battle. That is when the T cell will help of B cell. So the T cell is trying to find out what is a similar type of key which is present in the B cell, and finally when there is a similar T and B cell, there is a match. The B cell also starts replicating in a very faster rate. There are millions of B cells produced. Now the B cells also rushes into the battlefield, and it will attach to the border, or it will attach to the bacterial cell wall or a viral cell wall, and just kill the bacteria. So now the defense headquarters has sent the weapons, which is the T cells and the B cells. Now these two are coming into action, and there are four levels, the two levels of soldiers and the weapons which is fighting against it, and eventually the bacteria or virus or any invader which has entered into our body is just washed away, and we are protected from infection. In certain cases, the number of the invaders or the strength of the invader is very much higher than our own army, which is the immune system. In that cases, in spite of the two level of soldiers and the weapons being released, they are not able to fight, and we get an infection. So that is when we take medicines, and the medicines are going to boost up our immune system, and it will help to fight against these infections. So the next time you have some symptoms of an infection and you go to doctor, he's going to ask you to take a blood test, and in the blood test report you can find the count of WBC, RBC, neutrophil, monocytes, lymphocytes. Now if the neutrophil count is very high, it says that you have a bacterial infection. Remember, neutrophils are the second level of soldiers who are fighting against the infection. And if the lymphocyte count is more, it means that you have a viral infection. So these are nothing but all the counts of the soldiers which is present in our body. And if there are more soldiers in the blood, which means there has been an attack, and they can find out what kind of infection it is. Hope next time you have an infection or you encounter something very similar, you remember how it works and you just know.